Hi students, welcome to Sri Guru Bio Classes. In this class, we are going to discuss about another important topic in biology, cell membrane. Cell membrane. As we know that all living organisms are made up of cells. All these cells are covered by a distinct membrane or thin membrane that is known as cell membrane. All the living cells are covered by a cell membrane. Generally, in animal cells, the cell membrane is the only outermost layer which is present in that animal cells. When we are observing that plant cells, the cell membrane is present below the cell wall. So generally, in the plant cells having cell membrane, this cell membrane is present below the cell wall. So like this, all the living organisms are composed of cells. These cells are covered with cell membrane. Now, in this class, we are going to discuss about the detailed structure and function of these cell membranes. Now, let's come to the topic. After invention of electron microscope, in the year 1950s, the scientists are observed the human RBCs cell membrane under the microscope, electron microscope. After invention of electron microscope in the year 1950s, the human RBC cell membrane was observed under that microscope. These studies are most useful for the study the structure and function of this cell membrane in detail. So this study is more helpful for the identification of the detailed structure and function of this cell membrane. So in this, the electron microscope studies reveals that the electron microscope studies reveals that the cell membrane having lipids. These lipids are arranged into that bilayer structure. So these cell membranes are mainly present on that lipids. These lipids are present in the cell membranes are arranged into a doubled layer or bilayer structure. So in this, bilayer means what? This is one layer and this is another layer. The lipids which is present in the cell membranes are arranged into that bilayer. In these lipids which is present in that cell membranes are mainly having two parts. One is polar heads. Polar heads are hydrophilic heads, and these hydrophilic heads is attached that hydrophobic tails or non-polar tails. So this is polar heads or hydrophilic heads, or non-polar tails are hydrophobic portions. So these hydrophobic tails are present in that. So both hydrophobic and hydrophilic structures are observed in this membrane. So generally these polar heads which is present in that membranes are arranged in that outer surface. Outer surface means that is laid in outer side. So this is outside. And the hydrophobic tails are arranged in that inside. This is inside. This is inside and this is outside. So all the polar groups or polar heads are arranged outside and the hydrophobic tails are arranged inside of the membrane. Next, generally the most of the lipids which is present in that membranes are phospholipids. Phospholipids. In these phospholipids, generally phosphoglycerides. Phosphoglyceride. These phosphoglycerides are also one type of phospholipids. These phosphoglycerides are the main components which is present in the cell membrane. So, what we are studied under that microscope? When we are observing the cell membrane of that human RBCs, the biochemical structure of this cell membrane was identified. So, in that, generally the membranes are composed of lipids. These lipids portions are arranged into that bilayer. These are arranged into two layers. In that lipid molecules having two regions, one is polar heads, another one is hydrophobic tails. In this, polar heads are arranged outside and the non-polar tails are arranged into the middle portion or inside. So generally, the hydrophobic tails having saturated fatty acids. In these saturated fatty acids are formed into one dense structure. So it not allows the water outside the from inside to outside of that environment. So generally it resists the aqueous movement of this inside to outside. Aqueous movement means it prevents the movement of water from inside to outside of the cell. So this is the one of the most important characteristic feature observed in this cell membranes. Next, after sometimes they are done lot of experiments on these cell membranes and finally it analyzes the biochemical analysis, and in this biochemical analysis these membranes having another structures, that is proteins and carbohydrates. Later, several studies are conducted in these cell membranes. So, he identified that proteins and carbohydrates are also present in that membranes, or these proteins and carbohydrates are identified on these membranes. Generally, proteins. In these proteins, again, the proteins present in the membranes are categorized into two types based on easy extraction. Extraction of proteins, method of extraction. It is easily extracted means that is peripheral proteins. That is peripheral proteins. Peripheral proteins. Peripheral proteins means the proteins which is present on the periphery of that cell membrane. Periphery means surface of these membranes. This is peripheral proteins. Peripheral proteins. And sometimes the proteins which is present in that membranes are partially buried or completely buried in the membranes. Partially buried or completely buried in the membranes. This type of proteins we call it as integral proteins. These proteins generally call it as integral proteins. This is known as integral proteins. So generally the peripheral proteins are present on the surface of that membrane, and the integral proteins are integrated or buried inside the membranes. So that's why based on that easy extraction, proteins are classified into two types. One is peripheral proteins and these are integral proteins. So generally these integral proteins are buried inside the membranes. So these peripheral proteins are easily isolated or easily extracted. These integral proteins somewhat difficult to extract these integral proteins. Why? Because these integral proteins are buried inside the plasma membranes. So it is very difficult to isolate. So this is two types of proteins are also present in the membranes. Next, sometimes the carbohydrates are also present in this membrane. Generally these carbohydrates are present in the outer surface of this plasma membranes. So this is carbohydrates. Some of the carbohydrates are also arranged into the outside of the plasma membrane. Generally they are attached to the outer side of these membranes. So in this cell membrane having lipids, and in addition to that lipids, proteins and carbohydrates are also present in the cell membranes. So in this the composition of the cell membranes are varies from cell to cell and organism to organism. So the composition of the proteins and composition of that lipids are varies. Varies means it different. For example, when we are observing that human RBC, when we are observing that human RBC, the membrane having 52% of that proteins and 40% of lipids. So generally in that human RBC, the more protein content is present in that membranes when compared to the lipids. Lipids only 40% and proteins are 52%. So this is the simple structure of that cell membrane. So in this structure is very simple, but some of the scientists are also proposed the different theories to explain this simple structure of this plasma membrane. Among all these conclusions, one of the most accepted theory, that is fluid mosaic theory. That is fluid mosaic theory. Fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane. Fluid mosaic model of plasma membrane, generally which is proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972. So generally these two scientists, Singer and Nicholson, are proposed the structure of these cell membranes and explained that the plasma membrane is a fluid in nature. So how this plasma membrane is fluid in nature? Generally in that plasma membrane sometimes the proteins is present here and this. Sometimes these proteins are moved from here to here or here to here like this. So the position is changing from one place to another place. This movement is known as lateral movement. Lateral movement. So Singer and Nicholson were observed the lateral movement of these proteins are observed in this bilayer structure. So this lateral movement of proteins are commonly called it as fluidity. Fluidity. So in this fluidity, the lateral movement of these proteins were observed. So these are proposed that the plasma membrane is commonly called as fluid mosaic model. So in this plasma membrane, it is in that fluid nature. Fluid nature means the proteins are freely moved from one place to another place in a lateral direction. So that is known as lateral movement. So this property is known as fluidity. And another important component which is present in the cell membranes, that is cholesterol. Cholesterol is another type of fatty acid which is present in the membranes. Generally, these cholesterol are also present in that some proportion. This is known as cholesterol. These cholesterol are also present in these membranes. Next, this is the fluid mosaic model of this cell membrane. Next, what is the functions of this plasma membrane? What is the functions? Generally, the plasma membrane acts as a outer boundary of the cell. It protects the internal contents. Next, another important function is that plasma membrane is it is involved in the process of cell division. Cell division. And also it is involved in the process of secretion. It is involved in the process of secretion and endocytosis. Endocytosis. So these are the major functions which is observed in this cell membrane. Which is involved in the process of cell division and which is involved in the process of secretion. They secrete some of the substances and which is also involved in the process of endocytosis. These plasma membrane are involved in this. In addition to this, another important function in addition to this, all these functions, the plasma membranes play a major role in the transport of materials. Major function which is observed in this plasma membrane is transport of substances. Generally, it is the major function of this plasma membrane. Transport of substances. Generally, these cell membrane are also known as plasma membrane. This is also known as semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane means it allows only some substances or it sends outside only some substances only. So it controls the movement of substances. So this is also known as semi-permeable membrane. So the nature of the cell membrane is semi-permeable. So that's why it is mainly involved in this transport of substances. Generally, transport of substances, it is another important function in this plasma membrane is formed into that cell junctions. Cell junctions, it transport the substances. So in addition to this, transport of substances is the major function. So in this transport of substances, generally some substances are freely moving inside the freely moving through the plasma membranes or cell membranes, that is known as simple diffusion. Simple diffusion. Some substances are freely move across the plasma membrane. Here no energy is required for this process. This process is known as simple diffusion. Generally, some of the gas molecules or small molecules are passed through this simple diffusion process. So sometimes the polar substances are not enter through these non-polar membranes. So at the time they required some of the carrier proteins to transfer these transferred across these membranes. That type of transport is known as facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion. Here also no energy is required, but here separate carrier proteins is required for transport of these materials. Next, generally water is transported through this simple diffusion process. So in this simple diffusion process, generally what happened? The high concentration area to the low concentration area, the molecules are transferred from high concentration area to low concentration area. So without any expenditure of energy. So here the water are also passed through this plasma membrane through the process of simple diffusion, but the water is transferred in the process of osmosis. The water is passed through this plasma membrane through the process of osmosis. Next, sometimes some molecules and some ions are not passed through these cell membranes, and these molecules are transferred against concentration gradient. So at the time some energy also required for that process. That is known as simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport. Active transport. So some molecules are active transport, some ions and some molecules are not passed through this plasma membrane. So it's required some energy, and also in this process the molecules are transferred from low concentration area to high concentration area. So that's why it's required so much of energy. So some molecules and ions are generally passed through this active transport. So these are the major transport methods is carried out this cell membrane. Next, these simple diffusion are also known as passive transport. These are also known as passive transport. Passive transport means there is no energy is required for that. Active transport means energy is required to transfer the materials. So these are the major functions observed in this plasma membrane. What are the major functions? It involved in the process of cell division, secretion, endocytosis, cell junctions formation, and transport of substances by various methods: passive diffusion or simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and active transport. So these are the major functions of this plasma membrane. So if you have any doubts on this topic, please comment on it in comment box. If you want more videos from this channel, please subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.